Last session, this is, I guess this isn't when last we left our Intrepid Adventures, because we're sort of, I'm telling you about the session before the last session.
Yeah.
We interrogated, we found out that the high priests, or not the high priests, the priests had these pendants.
Which were borrowing the immortality of the high priestess.
Yeah.
There are these little gold triangle pendants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is totally not the Serpent Queen.
Yeah, and then the term Triforce did come up.
Yeah, someone did make a great history check and remembered that there was some rumor that was probably not true, that the Serpent Priestess had attained immortality using the Triforce, which is probably not even a real thing.
Yeah. Or the Queen had attained
the
immortality.
Serpent Queen.
Yeah.
But now these guys have these little triangle pendants.
Was it the Triforce?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I don't remember the details of history anymore.
It's interesting because I think it rubs Brian the wrong way, but it was Robert.
Not as bad
it.
as Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah,
yes.
Robert added it, and honestly, I kind of like throwing in random things from other settings into my settings. So I didn't do it myself, but I totally approve of it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the Triforce. If you get all three pieces, you make a wish, and then it flies apart.
Right. Okay.
And she was able to do that, and she made this super elaborate, like
I remember that
40-page
part.
wish
Yes.
to like cover all her contingencies to make her immortal.
And it also turned her into a giant snake as a side effect.
Yes.
Something was overlooked in there somewhere, but she's okay with it at this point.
Yeah, and so now the Serpent Queen had that, and she was supposedly killed by Conan the Barbarian. But
it's a name that has been eradicated from history because they want to punish him for what he did.
And now the High Priestess of the Temple of Freedom shows up, or is involved, and her servants are saying, "Oh yeah, we're borrowing part of her immortality by wearing these little gold triangle pendants." And
so the Jenga Tower is crushing them, but they're immortal. So
essentially, something along those lines. Yeah. So at some point, I gotta meet the High Priestess again and see if I can shake her hand, and that will be the clue. Because the Queen is just a giant snake with she's a Naga essentially. Whereas the High Priestess is Yuan Tai. So clearly totally different. She's got arms. So anyway,
no one could fake arms.
No, you'd need like I don't know, a hat of disguise or something. All right. Yeah. Well, we're still just wrapping up the session you already know. So
they figure out that they actually have these two things. They have these guys who are wearing these immortality things to save them from being crushed for their future knowledge, and they've got. Also, they're interrogating these time mages, who their interrogation question is, how are you able to time travel without a Panadar?
Yeah. So there's 4 factions, I think. 3 factions? 4? Something like that. And they've all got different methods of dealing with...
Yeah, there's the time mages, the Warforged, and these Temple of Freedom.
Yeah, and us.
And you.
Yeah.
And I mentioned at the start of last session, just to toy with them, that I was like, yeah, they knew all these factions. Now they knew almost everyone who was involved.
Well, it turns out, I mean, the Serpent Priests, they weren't originally a faction that had time knowledge.
Cricket may have...
And I sort of like, she must have found out when I, messaged her 6 years ago. Yeah. And Serendipity was like, Cricket! Even though she already knew, it keeps dawning on her just how much that... So we were left sort of trying to decide what to do with all these captives. The priests from the Temple of Freedom had been instructed to basically try and avoid us at all costs. Don't interfere with us. Don't tell us anything. Just, try to not interfere in any way with us as we do our stuff.
Right. Were they given reasons?
I don't think they were given reasons, but they're part of the special forces essentially, so they don't need reasons. They're just given orders.
They're part of a special group that the High Priestess of the Temple of Freedom was trained up, given these special pendants to, and given a special job. And they get given jobs like the one guy was like the bruiser guy, and he's like, yeah, it's really cool. She just like says, go here and then kill this guy, and it's really fun.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, as soon as we found out that they had these pendants that prevent the time tower from squishing them, we really wanted them.
Obviously.
And they're all like, no, don't take our pendants. The time tower will squish us and we'll die.
Yes.
And ultimately what we decided to do, now we're getting into when last we left our intrepid adventurers.
Okay.
Because now this is the next session starting up.
Oh, sorry, I kick your...
Like, you can hear that cheese squeaking. It's a sound of good cheese.
Oh, wow,
Squeaks when I chew it.
Yeah. Taking a photo so you can show it to the doctors. This is what did it. This is it.
There you go. We don't blame you.
Yeah. So anyway, there was a whole argument about morality and what the right thing to do was. We really wanted those pendants and all that kind of stuff. So ultimately we decided...
Is it time to say the phrase yet?
Say what phrase?
When we last left our intrepid.
Oh yes, yeah. It is time to say when last we left our intrepid adventurers.
It's kind of blurring.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we sort of just suspended our argument in mid-argue and then resumed it the next session. So.
Right.
So what we ultimately decided to do, just sort of skipping ahead a little bit, skipping over the dull stuff.
Argue.
We decided that we would go ahead and kill the time mages because they wanted to die anyway.
There was some talk of vivisecting them but that was not really based on good thinking because...
Yes, it wasn't based on good thinking.
They had done a glimpse of the past thing, and they had seen a moment where the time mage had like a Panadar wooden replica, and was like, they open their mouth wide to consume people, and then they can turn into them. They like consume them. Yeah. He was doing that to the Panadar thing. So they're like, oh, it's inside him. But I pointed out that like the people that they consume aren't inside them. So it's like
we can rescue them. Just have to dig around. No. Yeah, so they probably like somehow consume the essence of this replica or something and incorporates into them. So yeah, it turns out vivisection would not have actually been a good thing to do.
Always.
Is the replica Panadar as good as real Panadar?
I don't know. They do seem to like to fire through portals rather than actually visiting places. We still think that might be a way of avoiding time tower issues. Anyway, we weren't getting anything out of them.
Oh, because one was about to spill the beans.
Yeah, but that was John trolling us.
Oh.
He actually, and Brian said it that way, but he actually wasn't about to spill the beans. He was just like, he just asked the question, and they assumed he was about to spill the beans, but he actually wasn't going to.
Oh, okay.
Okay. We didn't.
This was pure John troll.
Yeah, I tried to make it. You guys think that he was about to spill the beans, right? But he wasn't.
Yeah, we considered resuming the torture, but that also would have been wrong.
There was some debate.
And useless.
They discovered that the torture things were actually these crystals hanging over your eyes, and they make you feel like a pleasant sort of pleasure all over your body. But they had cranked them up to 11, so it's like it's just like it's too much. And then they put them on these creatures who hate existence, and so it was just pure torture for them.
So yeah, we put the time mages out of their misery, and then we decide what we're going to do is we're going to take the pendants from the time mages, or not time mages, from the priests. The moment we take them from them, they're okay still because they're within range of the Panadar.
Yep.
And then we stick them in primal prisons for the next 6 months.
Okay, so you're finally using that.
So yeah, well, we did that with the mind flayers.
Oh right. Yeah.
And that was that one was more like 10 years or 20 years or something like that. So yeah, this is a short-range primal prisoning.
Yeah.
But yeah, once they reach the baseline timeline, the time tower will no longer crush them. So they'll be okay. And yeah, best of all possible worlds. We don't send them back to the Temple of Freedom. We take their cool stuff, and yeah.
So now you have a Triforce.
No. We have some pendants that are able to protect you from time tower crushage. So now...
I thought they were Triforce shaped.
They are Triforce shaped, but they're not
aren't
actually
the
Triforce.
Okay.
They're just...
Replicas then.
Yeah. So now we have the ability to split the party across temporal dimensions. So cool.
Remember, Brian, don't split the party. Or
So
send
anyway.
the rest of the idiots to a place where they can't mess it up.
So now the question is, now that we've dealt with all that, how do the high priests, or the priests of the Temple of Freedom, how do they know all this stuff? And, well, I'll wait for John to get back to the table for this. He loves role-playing the high priestess. So the question now, wow, there's a lot of poutine.
Is how did the priests learn these things? So what happens? Cricket messages the High Priestess, right?
Well, not right now. But yeah, I said, well, probably she figured out a bunch of stuff when I messaged her, back at my birthday. And Serendipity has another one of her, like, cricket things. But yeah, basically, and now my new childhood has caught up with me, so I'm aware of how it changed.
Okay.
Basically what happened was, I am like the personal protege of the High Priestess of the Temple of Freedom now. She knew that someday I was going to wind up in this ridiculous situation.
Right.
And so she personally trained me, like really hands-on. Spent a lot of time with cricket. And I tell everyone this, of course, because it's not privileged information. It's not owner's privilege, because technically the temple doesn't actually own the domestics at any point.
Right. Yeah.
So I tell them, oh yeah, she personally raised me, and I'm at this point I'm like feeling really secure in everything, because everything I've done
has been according to the teaching of the High Priestess.
I've been right about everything all along.
Yeah.
It's great.
They spent a lot of time together. Sometimes she would go to like her like special area. They would like spend time together. They would like
braid each other's hair.
She had her own special chamber there.
So
sometimes they would spend time together and do like these special rituals together.
And it really fits because my epic destiny is chosen one, so now I really am. I retroactively did that. But anyway, everyone, for some reason, gets intensely suspicious now. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, we did all these special rituals. What could go wrong?
So Serendipity does the strap me down and do the mind reading analysis, intensive, turn your head and cough, all that kind of stuff. And she rolls high enough to find that the High Priestess has put this super duper high level, super duper secretive and well hidden, basically sensory tap on Cricket. And so basically throughout Cricket's entire life so far, the High Priestess has been able to listen in and see in basically everything Cricket senses. And I immediately felt really bad because I fought those mucolytics in the sewer in Greybridge, and I was like, oh geez, that's terrible. Because I got like those mucolytics were vomiting in my mouth, and it was horrible. This is a previous adventure a long time back. Mucolytics are as awful as the name suggests. Yeah.
They're just an excuse to basically think of the most disgusting things possible. They're just basically disgusting elementals.
Yeah.
We're gonna try and make the players puke.
Yeah. So yeah, I felt really bad about that. Everyone else felt really bad about how the High Priestess now knew everything that had happened throughout the entire campaign. With the possible exception of when we were in the Oodlands, because that may have been before her time. Though I'm sure we talked about it enough that she would have picked up the details. So anyway,
wow, she really knows everything.
So she knows everything. She's got tons of future knowledge, but she isn't able to actually travel in time. It's just like some sort of super prophecy thing. And so everyone's freaked out about this.
Yeah. Now, is the ritual sending information to all of her selves at all times, or just the time where she raised you?
I'm assuming that it's whatever time frame I'm in. It's like if I'm doing a sending.
Right. Okay. So you're constantly sending to her.
Yeah.
So at some point, her past self starts getting this information.
Yep. Out of nowhere. And evidently the Triforce immortality protects her. Presumably she found out about this because she would have told some confidant, and the Time Tower would have immediately squished that confidant. And she's like, interesting.
I haven't revealed that yet, but that is totally what I imagined.
Yeah. She's like, I need to test this theory.
Who do I hate?
At some point she had to realize the shit to make special amulets.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, the party's all freaked out about this, and they investigate the possibility of using remove affliction to try and extricate this spying ritual from Cricket. Now, this thing is like an epic level spell that was woven into Cricket over the course of many years.
Yeah,
many years.
It was put in by like a legendary entity.
So
you don't know that.
So they can't just cast Remove Affliction once and boom, it's gone.
Yeah. So he came up with this basically. It's like one of those disease things where you have to do it many, many, many times. And it gets worse and better and all that kind of stuff. And so I think it took like a full week or something like that. It was
7 successes. I think it took 9 days or something.
9 days. So it was over a week of basically when you make these attempts, even if you succeed, it does massive damage to the subject you're casting it on. And if you fail, it's an insta death. But we were doing PC rules, so it's just like you're brought to the very brink of death. So yeah,
I was just doing where if you fail, your max healing surges go down by 1, and then they recover by 1 a day once you're finished. So.
Yeah. So yeah, Cricket basically spends 9 days being tortured by Serendipity and Ben Gerard to try and extricate this.
Is she complaining about it the whole time? She's like, no, we should let them. She's the best.
She advised against it, but she was helping them because she's a ritual caster.
Right.
So she's able to help.
Yeah, and she has to do what the party says. That's more important than...
That is true. Even more important.
Yeah.
During the process, the High Priestess did send a sending to Cricket, telling her that she shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
But steeping it in the fact that obviously you should do what your owners say. I can't countermand that, and I don't want to try. But you realize this is a big mistake.
Yeah.
And I argued with her. I was like, this is entirely within the rights of the party to do.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have any say in this.
Right.
So, I don't have.
But did you argue with the party saying you shouldn't do that?
I also argued with the party.
She didn't dispute that the party had the right to do this. It's just that she was trying to argue this is a big mistake. And not only that, but I feel like it makes them my enemies. And I really don't want your friends to be my enemies, Cricket. But it's how it's gonna have to be.
So yeah. And throughout it all, Hank was kind of taking Cricket's side and saying, this is awful what we're doing to her, and so yeah, Hank sort of takes Cricket's side in this. I guess it's Cricket's side. Hard to say anymore. But anyway.
Side is what?
Basically, he was thinking the party was doing an awful thing to Cricket. And shouldn't be doing it.
Don't remove it.
Yeah, stop with the 9 days of screaming and agony kind of thing.
Who still owns Cricket?
Hank and Serendipity.
Okay.
But he didn't directly countermand anything. I mean, if he'd ordered Cricket not to undergo this or not to help or something, then we would have been in an interesting situation because once again it's a 50-50 split. But anyway, he didn't. So we finished it in 9 days of torment. And then as soon as the link was broken, he revealed that he had been bluffing, essentially. Because the high priestess could still see him.
Yeah. As soon as she's like, the link's broken, right? Yeah. Okay, I just want to put it on record. I thought this was a great idea, but I didn't want the high priestess to know that I thought it was a great idea.
And that hurt Cricket the most of anything that happened in the past 9 days. Because she'd been thinking at least one of my owners is rational here. Nope. Oh. So yeah.
I think you should have done a ritual to corrupt, and so you could.
It's just pure mucilating.
Cricket can only taste mucilatic from now on.
Why every time I tap in, is she going to the bathroom?
I think you could have put a filter on it.
Yeah.
So you could decide which information gets to the high priestess.
Well, I still have my hotline to her.
That's true.
And she would have known that we would be corrupting it because she knew that we found out.
Yeah.
And, So anyway, that's why the Temple of Freedom is now a player in the time travel game. Because I told them everything. But I'm feeling really good, or Cricket is feeling really good about herself, because everything is awesome.
So then you headed back to the office and told the party, yes, Serendipity can join.
Yep. I guess that happened.
Oh yeah, that happened. Yeah, it was just a day later. So
yeah, they did that, and that wasn't really much of anything. But it took them 9 days to do this, and it took them. They had come up with the idea because when they saw Aurora again, they realized. And Serendipity realized that she only had 2 souls in her head, and she really should have at least 4.
Yeah.
And so they made this plan.
Wait, why 4?
Well, because every loop she gets another one of her souls and another one of the End of All Things souls.
Right.
Yep.
And so she should be on the second loop or more.
Oh,
so
yeah.
every loop she should have 2 souls per loop, and she only has 2 souls, which is not what they expected.
She should have 2 X souls, where X is greater than 1.
Yeah. So they decided that they were going to try to go back in time to when she woke up.
See if she had the proper number of souls there. She should have 4.
But in order to... I'll just jump ahead to explain why I'm talking about this.
Yeah.
The process of doing that, you know how she has the map, the Google Maps of time that lets her like pick a route through time that's weird and obfuscated, but is the fastest in meta time?
Yeah.
That took about 7 days of jumping around, which is
so
also the same time that they spent remove afflictioning on Cricket.
Okay.
I should mention...
But that's actually in the future of what we're going to mention now.
In order to find out exactly when and where we needed to go, we need to know which tree Aurora woke up under. And the only person that knows that
is Aurora.
No. Aderon.
Really?
Because Aurora and Aderon were best buds.
He found her right when she woke up, and she glommed onto him because she was brand new, right?
Unfortunately, we unkilled him quite some while back, so he's around.
Oh, that worked out.
Yeah. So we actually tracked down Aderon, where he was now. You know about Aderon. He was a party member, like in like the third level or something like that. He got killed.
His player now plays Serendipity.
Yeah.
But she really didn't want to play Aderon because I guess she had some like sad feelings about letting him go because she was just kind of like, he's boring. I want a new character anyway. And she feels like guilty about it or something. So she really didn't want to play Aderon. And I was like, okay, well, I don't remember anything about him. We barely knew him. He wasn't that developed. But all I remember is that she thought he was boring. So I'll just be like, I'll just play him as the most boring guy ever because Aderon's boring. That's all we know about him. So he was just really boring.
Yeah. So yeah, we found Aderon. We found out which tree Aurora came from, and so.
Now you knew where. And
So we went there, and we wound up a couple days before Aurora was going to come out. And I don't know if I just proposed this or if we actually did it. I proposed that we set up a whole lot of like duck blinds, not just for ourselves, but for potential future use.
Right.
If we need to loop around and come back again. So we'll be hiding here, and then potentially higher level versions of ourselves will be hiding behind some of the other ones, and we won't see them, so it won't mess up anything.
Right, yeah.
Just in case that's needed. And yeah, that may well be needed. So we're waiting for Aurora to do that. Has anyone actually witnessed a star reincarnating like this? Because no one normally knows when and where one is going to pop out.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone has. If they have, it's not.
We should have taken a photo.
Too bad you didn't go to the future and get camera technology and
well,
bring it back.
We may have another go around at this. So.
Right, but they did know a bit about what happened because they asked the tree.
Oh yeah.
Because Robin was really excited because Gerard has the ability to speak with trees, which she thought it would never come up. And also he's from a desert, so though he probably could speak to cactuses.
Yeah.
But
she said they have a very prickly personality, so you don't want to talk to cactuses.
So she talked to the tree, and the tree told her a very slow story about what happened.
Very odd story. Oh yeah, we didn't actually go back to witness it. We asked the tree.
We haven't witnessed it yet.
Right,
we just heard what the tree said.
Right, we asked the tree. The tree said, basically, Aurora showed up. And then as soon as she showed up and she appeared, she was asleep. A doorway opened in the air or whatever. And what was it? Like energy sucked out of Aurora or something like that?
It was all described kind of metaphorically.
Yeah, and there was like some guy on the other side of this door that opened in space.
And it was like as beautiful as the silhouette of a tree on a hillside, and the tree talked in all these kind of weird
so
ways.
we're like, great. Time Mages, they stole the end of all things and second Aurora the moment that they came.
So she came back and...
She reincarnated.
What was on the other side of the portal?
It wasn't clear. It was like a figure that was as beautiful as a tree standing alone on a hillside.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it was...
I got an idea.
It was very peculiar. So, we decided it must be Time Mages. Friggin' Time Mages. And I've been really wanting to take the fight to them. Finally. So...
You want to dive through the portal?
So, I've convinced the party that what we gotta do is... We gotta hide in the duck blinds, and then as soon as that portal opens up, charge! We dive through it and massacre whatever's on the other side.
So Serendipity is working on a ritual that should let them reverse the polarity on the portal or whatever, and that's their plan.
Yeah, and it's gonna be great because we're finally gonna take the fight to the Time Mages.
Right.
Yeah. It's not going to be time mages on the other side.
No.
I have no idea.
I have an idea.
You have an idea.
I do.
Yeah, I don't know. There was also the speculation that it might have been Aurora's brother.
That's my idea.
Oh, okay. Well, it's fine then, because we still want to kill him too.
Yeah. He's a mess.
Yeah.
All the male
we've
stars
never.
are assholes.
Yeah. We've never met him, but we want to kill him. So even if it's not time mages, we still want to dive through the portal and kill whatever's on the other side.
Yeah. So Aurora dies in the cave.
Yes.
And
Past Aurora and future Aurora both died at the same time. so her souls, they all combined and reincarnated at the same place, which would normally not happen if it wasn't for time travel. Because normally they die and then they reincarnate at a certain spot.
Yeah.
But because two versions of her died at the same time, they just combined.
Okay.
And both of them had the end of all things embedded in their soul.
Because how did that happen again?
The end of all things did it because it died at the same time.
Oh right.
And it did that as its like try and escape.
Yeah. Also, it can consume people's souls and get energy, but because Aurora has so many lifetimes, it can live inside her for a long time, just getting more powerful. So it was like, sweet, this is gonna be a good ride.
Yeah. And then it took that ride back to the past.
Yeah. So originally, it embedded itself in Aurora, and she reincarnated somewhere else.
Yeah.
Then that Aurora went through the whole campaign. Fought her again, but then she wasn't able to stop past Aurora from dying.
Yeah.
But it takes a little while for the reincarnation to happen. So a few rounds later, future Aurora also got killed.
Yeah.
And the thing embedded it had already done that. But she still had the soul fragment in her. So now there's at the same time there's two Aurora souls with the soul embedded.
They did switcheroo.
Yeah,
they put future Aurora, which already had soul fragment in it, and then he put more of his soul in there.
Well, no,
the hope was that if he tried to consume her soul with his own soul,
they were gonna do the switcheroo, but then the time mages made a portal and blasted the whole party and killed them, including past Aurora. So then she was already dead, and then future Aurora was there too. I think they all got killed by the time mages. Yeah. And then they were all dead at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. And then it was like, I don't know, it's just like it was like a hash code. It's like at this time if you die you wake up here.
Yeah. And including the end of all things.
Yeah.
So then the end of all things had already embedded itself into past Aurora?
Yeah, so we had two Aurora souls and two fragments of the end of all things souls, all mushed together into one reincarnating Aurora.
I don't see how you had two end of all things souls.
So the end of all things put its soul into past Aurora just like it originally did. Yeah. Then past Aurora had lived to become future Aurora and still had the end of all things in herself. Right. So they both died, so now there's two of each.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then every time that loop happens, another pair should be getting added to Aurora, but that seems to not be happening.
Right.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate, because that would have been a nice stable containment for them, but whatever.
How many souls can a human hold? Let's find out. Well, she's a star, too.
Yeah, it's like each time you're adding a soul and also an anti-soul, so it's okay. It balances out. Yeah, you add a soul and an all-consuming devourer of souls at the same time.
Yeah, and the all-consuming devourer of souls eats other souls to become more powerful. So, what could go wrong?
Apparently something.
So yeah. Aurora's brother.
Or time mages. I still think it could be time mages.
I think it's the brother.
You think it's the brother. Well, it does make sense based on the description the tree gave. Yeah. Since, she's from the constellation of the tree, and so is her brother, so yeah. But I really want it to be a time mage, because I really want to jump through a time mage portal and just lay waste to whatever facility they have on the other side.
At this point, they're not playing defensive. Mm-hmm. They've actually dealt with all the current things that they know about that the time mages have done against them. So they're not, they actually have some chance to, let's take initiative.
Yeah. And so, if that's Aurora's brother, I'm just going to be so pissed at him.
He could be involved in the whole thing.
For not being a time mage.
He's evil, right? And so he might actually be aligned with evil things and just be like, fuck it, I don't want to see this universe anymore.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I just want to kill some time mages. I want to jump through one of their time mage they're all like, oh yeah, we're so smart, we've got our facility and we can open portals and with impunity destroy bits of history, and suddenly bits of history jump through their portal and they're like, nah.
They did talk to one of the time mages who really should just be called doppelgangers or void creatures, because that's what they are.
Yeah.
But and they did have a conversation with them. They see themselves as the heroes. Like, existence sucks. It's painful. It's terrible. And we're basically here to free you from it.
Right. Yeah.
We're the heroes. Why do you insist on stopping us?
Yeah.
We're here to save you from existing.
Yeah.
No, we're the heroes. Commence the vivisection.
Yay, subjective morality.
Well, yes, my character now truly is the chosen one. I mean, she knows that, history
She's the chosen
changed.
of the Serpent Queen.
She remembers all
Who's
three.
totally not totally evil.
She remembers all three of her pasts now.
She's so nice.
To her,
Everyone just always hates it whenever she comes talking. She's like, "Hey there, Cricket, it'll be okay." And I'm just like, "Just want to punch her."
She's so nice to Cricket. So nice to Cricket.
Oh yes, and Serendipity finally managed, because she spent like 9 days picking apart like tendrils of the yeah. She was able, in the course of all that, since I was actually helping and like I had my hands in all that magic, she managed to convince Cricket that there is indeed a soul in there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so Cricket was me like, wow, I'm a Kalashtar. and the whole party was like, nah.
Did you tell the other players that was
No,
your
I
plan?
hadn't told them. I'd been thinking ahead, because I knew that eventually they were going to get through Cricket's thick skull and convince her there was another soul in there.
I wonder who it is.
No, he knows who it is.
It's Katrina.
Yeah. But yeah, she was trying to explain to the party that, she's a soulless being that happens to have a soul stuck to it.
Yeah, just like
essentially.
a Kalashtar.
Yeah, and becoming a Kalashtar doesn't change who you are legally.
Right. Yeah.
Hank is still Hank.
I think Serendipity should propose that to get you pregnant, and then see if your offspring has souls.
Well, it won't, because Kalashtar don't breed true. Yeah.
Settlement parties forming plans to have Cricket bred.
Yep.
Except that will be a way to disprove that you're a Kalashtar.
Cricket would probably be up for it, because she, I was commented before that she's probably the most powerful domestic in the entire world. Her offspring would be worth a fortune.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Serendipity could pay off her debt just by selling my babies.
Yeah.
I love how sentences like those come up. So our next adventure, we're planning to dive through a portal to someplace we don't know and fight whatever's on the other side, whatever it may be.
I need to tell Shannon to. How can I tell Shannon to get you pregnant?
We can start with that.
So today we went in the forest and it's beautiful. It was so green, so green. Why did I live in the desert? And then there was a tree and I got to talk to the tree. It took a very long time. And now I know why I live in the desert.
Can we please just get back to killing monsters and time mages and whatever? All of these complicated moral dilemmas are really getting old. I just wanna go back to simpler times.
Well, Cricket now thinks she's a Kalashtar, so she is acknowledging the soul inside her. That's a step forward. Yay! Oh, also, we've been spied upon this entire time, and we didn't know it, and we thought we were safe from spying, but this isn't exactly scrying. But now we're safe from that too. Though we have a angry serpent priestess that's probably going to want revenge. Woo!
I am so excited for when the serpent priestess, the peeping Tom, like what a creep, comes to try to exact her revenge. I am so excited. It's going to be a good day. Oh, Hank, it's going to be a good day.
The Oblin have to know what a soul is because, well, sometimes the Waystones don't wake up properly, so we have to know what a soul is so that we can help them wake up more or put them back to sleep. I know what a half soul looks like and where the line is, and I really kind of feel that 1100 years of expertise are being wasted here. And it's so obvious. I don't understand how someone could lie to themselves like that.
Okay, so I haven't killed monsters recently, but there was that watermelon golem. That was fun. It was delicious. It was messy. I like that. But it was easy. It was way too easy. I want to get my hands dirty. I want to fight something that really hurts, and I just want to make something bleed, and I want to I just want some action, and I'm feeling a little bloodthirsty too.
Well, this has been a complicated lifetime that has just been revised again. This time right from the beginning. And there's some good parts and some confusing parts. I think mostly good parts, really. Yeah. I think it's been pretty good. The last week or so has not been so much fun. I died at least once in the course of the ministrations that have been applied to me. That hurt. But I learned something interesting. I'm a Kalashtar, apparently. I'm going to have to hang out with Hank some more and find out more about that sort of thing. Kalashtar culture. Well, there isn't really any Kalashtar culture. But yes, that's quite interesting. Of course, everyone else misinterpreted it deeply, but yeah, that's what I'm used to. That part of my life hasn't changed at all. I guess it's nice that there are some constant things, even with all the strange twists and turns that my personal timeline has been taking. There are some consistent features.